Hello, everyone. Welcome back or welcome to InventHer Live on Market.Live. Happy Thursday, getting close to the weekend. My son is coming home from college. I'm so excited. He gets here tomorrow. Lots of fun stuff this weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. And you guys are in for quite a treat tonight. This is super, super fun for me, partially because the guest that we're going to be having on tonight has been on Market.Live since the beginning. And so she is an amazing host and she is a brilliant entrepreneurial mind. So if you are someone who is tuning in, who has a product line of her own or is developing one or even just thinking about one, our guest tonight, Tiffany, and I'm hoping I'm going to pronounce it right, Tiffany. Oh God, Joaquin. She said, I was said Joaquin. She said, no, you have to pronounce the J. So Tiffany Joaquin, I hope I did that. What you will learn from her is incredible. And I will tell you, when I was first introduced to Tiffany and I thought about the idea of having her on, she has an amazing jewelry line that I cannot wait to show you. And I'm so sad I'm not wearing it tonight. She sent me samples and I was so excited to get them. And they are on their way here. And I tracked it right before we went live. And they're getting here at 7:00, which is in a few hours. So I'm sad to say I'm not wearing them, but she is. And you guys are going to fall in love with her line of jewelry that's called Celeste Sol. And I'm going to introduce you to that in a second. But I thought about, when I think about what guests to have on, I'm always thinking about you guys, the audience, the viewers, and wanting to make sure that it's someone that can be really interesting and someone that you can learn from. And someone that also has wonderful products, of course, but that you can, really my goal with InventHer Live is to pull back the curtain on that process of going from an idea all the way to a product and hopefully to a successful, thriving business. And that you guys, in pulling back that curtain, you guys can gain some really invaluable information and behind the scenes knowledge that will help you do the same. So when I thought of a jewelry line, I thought, I don't know if that's going to really deliver what I want to deliver to my audience. So I was a little hesitant to have her on, but boy, was I wrong. Because as soon as I started talking to her and realizing how much thought and how much strategy went in to her launching this line of jewelry, I was blown away. I feel like every person I have on, I could talk to for hours on end, but I also like to do research on everyone I have on. So I spent quite a bit of time researching Tiffany and was so impressed with her background and, more importantly, so impressed with her thought process and how and why she decided to launch the line that she launched. But more importantly than that is why she chose the niche that she chose for her jewelry and how she's really doubled down on that. And that to me is such an invaluable, teachable moment for all of us, that knowing who your customer is. And it's interesting, inside the Live Shopping Academy right now, actually, what we're learning, what I'm teaching is all about how important it is to know who your target customer is. Because if you don't know who she is or he, how do you reach them? How do you speak to them? How can you possibly create an authentic connection if you don't know who that is? And Tiffany knows her target audience inside and out and has done a brilliant job reaching them, marketing to them, and connecting with them. And you're going to hear all about that in just a minute. So I just wanted to wet your whistle with all the knowledge that is going to come. And I am excited about showing the jewelry line because literally I was limited to picking about 5 or 6 pieces for the show. And I'm going through her website, I'm going through her storefront on Market, and I can't decide because I love literally every single one of them. And several are sold out because as soon as she gets them in, they sell out, because she's done such a brilliant job of creating a product assortment that really appeals to such a broad audience. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring Tiffany in. Tiffany, welcome. I was going to say welcome to Market Live, but you were here before I was. So welcome me to Market Live.
Thank you, Marcy. That was such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. My palms are sweating because of that introduction. So thank you.
Well, you deserve it. It's all very, very true. And I'm so excited for you to share all of this with our audience. And why don't you go ahead and talk about, just give sort of the high level of your brand and show us a few of your pieces of jewelry, because before you show those, I do want to say what she's done so great is not only is the assortment beautiful, and it's things that you could wear with anything, whether it's, you could dress it down, dress it up. It's so versatile. But also I love, Tiffany, how affordable you've made it. And so it's so giftable, but it's also, you can buy several pieces and mix and match them because they are so affordable. So brilliant. So go ahead.
Thank you. No, thank you. So I have a long career in retail. I started as an assistant buyer at Neiman Marcus, dropped everything, moved to New York, no job, classic New York City story. Started working for Macy's financial analyst, and then landed at Ross Stores where I was a senior buyer. And it was that experience that really opened up my eyes to this market. I am first generation Dominican. I'm proud Latina. My family fled Dominican Republic, landed in Puerto Rico because there was a civil war. So I am the consumer that I wanted to target. I learned at my last job, I built a $30 million business from the ground up. I was managing a $100 million denim business. And within there, I built this business, $30 million, that was catered just to the Latin consumer, building product especially for her with bilingual packaging, with Colombian flags that really signaled to her that, hey, this product is for you. So whenever I needed to relocate to Miami, I was very, very pregnant. I knew I did not want to be a stay-at-home mom. I love working. Being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job in the world. All the mamas out there, it is far harder than anything I've ever done. But I knew I wanted something for myself. And so I launched Celeste Sol, which was inspired by my grandmother Celeste and her jewelry store in Puerto Rico 65 years ago. And that's her. And, she was wonderful and very, very independent, wanderlust. She traveled all around the world getting pieces of fine jewelry for this store. She traveled alone. So really, we wanted to capture her ethos. We wanted to capture the culture. We wanted to build something that quite literally spoke to the consumer like myself.
And that you did. And that's what to me is really interesting about your jewelry line is I do love how you are connecting the world of fashion and jewelry, but you're connecting it with culture. And that when I said that she's niching down and she's done such a brilliant job of it, the fact that you took your family story and at the same time took what you were learning in the retail space, the fact that, building a $30 million business specifically for the Latina, I'm sure for the Latina female, I'm sure that watching that and realizing how quickly you were able to do that. What a white space for you. You understand it so well, but then just going, who else is doing it?
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
Are many people targeting specifically the Latina culture?
So right now there are more beauty products. There are like Rizos Curls really caters to Latina hair and textures. There's Alamar Cosmetics, but there really was lacking in the actual apparel and fashion piece, jewelry specifically. And as I did the research in between launching and leaving my last job, I was floored by the statistics. The Latin consumer has almost close to $2 trillion in spending power. And this was an article that came out in 2018. So that combined with the Hispanic audience was the number one driver in the most recent US Census. So their demand is growing. They have no brands that quite literally spoke to them. And what was the real eye opener was my son got baptized in a Spanish mass in Houston. And we were watching the people leave the mass, and we noticed all of these Latinas, all of them that are speaking Spanish, that are in the Spanish mass, were leaving wearing very recognizable Kendra Scott styles. Now, I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with Kendra Scott. I respect her immensely as a businesswoman. She has done a great job, but she's blonde hair, blue eye, Austin, Texas, that someone that can't really relate to that consumer, cannot speak literally to that consumer. So I see these women, I'm like, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, and I know your story because your story is my story. So that was really the eye opener. And I'm like, let's do this. Let's bring new life to our family business 65 years later.
Yeah. So that's so special. And I've heard you say that, none of your designs are groundbreaking innovation, right? But you basically took something that was working. You're taking pieces that are inspired by designers, but you're designing your own as well, but kind of inspired by, but you're repackaging it in the sense that you're speaking specifically directly, as you say, quite literally to the Latina customer, and she is responding. And I love
Absolutely.
seeing you guys, if you follow Tiffany on social media, go to her Instagram and you'll see what's so cool is that it is that Latina customer that is so excited to just organically post because she's so proud, I think, to be wearing jewelry that's from someone like her. And she wants to tell the world about it. And you can't buy that kind of PR. You really can't. And so it's working so well, and it's so cool to see. Because it's funny, there's so many schools of thoughts when it comes to launching a product and launching a brand about, do you niche down? I'm sure there was a part of you that's like, ooh, is this going to be scary? Because, could you, because it is, all of your pieces are, you could have cast such a wide net with your brand, and you could, skyrocket it out of the gate. But I love your integrity in sticking with your niche. And even though it's more of a marathon than a sprint, it is going to serve you so well. And it's just going to be such a solid, authentic build that, again, like, no one could take that away from you. It's not a flash in the pan. It's, you're the real deal. Your grandmother is the real deal. And the real deal is speaking to the right person. So just well done.
Thank you. Thank you. And we definitely wanted to build something that was sustainable in the sense that really had longevity. And, early in the process, I met Damon John, who I admire very, very probably. He's one of the sharks on Shark Tank, and he was the founder of FUBU, which means for us, by us. And again, similar to Celeste Sol, his shirts that he was creating was not groundbreaking. They're white cotton t-shirts. What he was doing was he was catering to the Black consumer who did not have a brand that spoke to them. He disrupted the industry, not by the product itself, but the niche that he was speaking to. And he taught me a lot about super serving your niche. You don't need to be everything to everyone. And so that, coupled with my experience building my Levante Cola business, which means butt lift in Spanish. That was the butt lifting gene that I tailored to Latinas with the Colombian flag and the darts in the back to really emphasize those parts that are very important to that culture. Really, really just gave me the confidence that this is the right direction. This is what I need to do.
And that, again, speaks to how important that is. And I'm hanging a lantern on this because I think as inventors and innovators, entrepreneurs, sometimes we get so head down about our product, especially when we think we've come up with a really good one, that we're not thinking so much about who that consumer is. We're thinking about how great our product is going to be. And what you've done and Damon John has done is you thought of the consumer first and continue to always be thinking of the consumer. And I think you cannot lose when you do that. So just such a good lesson for all of us to remember that is, whatever category you might be in, first and foremost, who's your consumer, know him or her or both well, and then create products, market products to him or her. And it's a winning strategy for sure. So let's show some of your pieces. You're wearing one of them. That was actually this one, you guys. I need to interrupt here and say we are doing a giveaway. I love my giveaways. And Tiffany is actually wearing the piece that we are giving away. I think this is my favorite of your whole collection. I do love the chunky. Go ahead.
Incredible. It was our bestseller for three years.
Oh.
So we, it's a 14 millimeter wide Cuban link, but the beautiful thing is that it's completely solid. It's filled in the center. So it is not, hollow or cheap. It's the real deal. So, a lot of our competitors have tried to recreate this and get it at that price point. But, this is really, really solid quality. And for those of you who have not shopped with us, all of our jewelry is safe for sensitive skin and hypoallergenic, water and wear resistant, which is so important for me.
When I first heard you say that water resistant, I was so happy to hear that, because that I don't know how many jewelry lines can say that, because I think that's a really important one. But that piece to me, as with all your pieces, you really can wear that with a white t-shirt and jeans and a leather jacket. But you can also wear it with a suit, a work occasion. You can wear it with a dress for a cocktail party or even black tie. Like it can go the whole gamut. And
I've worn it with sweats too. I've worn it with sweats for like a streetwear look.
Yes. Love it.
Very good.
Love it. Yeah. And I kept thinking that when I'm looking, you guys have to go. I mean, you can see right here on this show several of her pieces, but go to her storefront or go to her website and take a look at all of them, because I feel like we could say that about every single one of them. It could go with sweats, it could go for black tie. Just dress it up, dress it down. And the price points are so great. And I don't have the price point in front of me. How much is that?
So this
you guys are probably seeing the buy button, but I'm not seeing it.
So it's available in 2 lengths. I'm wearing the 18-inch and that's $65. The 20-inch is $67.50. So we really try hard to keep all of our prices under the $100 price point because we want to make it attainable for everybody. We think that everyone should have good quality pieces at affordable prices. And I work very nimbly. One thing I learned as a buyer, if you ever walk into a showroom and they have all the bells and whistles with the champagne and this, I'm not going to buy from you because your prices are going to be too high. So we work very nimbly because we want to give that back to the consumer, that savings.
Well, no offense to Kendra Scott, but I was just in Austin. That's where my son goes to school. And I went into her store and what did they hand me right when I walked in?
Champagne.
Champagne. That is so funny.
I love it.
Okay, show us something else.
Okay, so, well, with that, what's really important with my background, I learned how to take a bestseller and slice and dice it 100 different ways. So that would be another thing that for those of you who are starting an idea or a business is how do you take your bestseller and maximize it? How deep, how broad can it get? So we took our best-selling Havana, which was #1 for 3 years, and we did it in silver. We've done it in bracelets. We've done it thinner and longer, all of which can be gender inclusive. They're size inclusive. That's why we've added the different lengths. So just really maximizing your assortment with your existing, like not reinventing the wheel. Let's do it in silver, let's do it in bracelets. Obviously tweaking the dimensions here and there, but it works because that the foundation of the piece is a success. You just need to, make the width a little bit smaller for the wrist or make it a little bit longer for men. And you really do come out with, you could double your assortment by just doing that alone. So you don't need to be reinventing the wheel every time. Right. The next iteration of this, we took inspiration from the chunky chain and we did a Heffa, and that's another thing that we really like to do is use a lot of Spanglish terminology, Spanish, English, to really speak to the consumer saying like, hey, we are Latina, we are proud, and, we're going to speak to you in Spanglish. So Jefa, for my non-Spanish speaking friends, means boss. And when you see this on, you're going to understand why. Okay, so I'm wearing the bracelet here. All of our stuff has, little Celeste Sol, either icon or logo.
Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Love it. Gosh, that might be my new favorite.
It's so good. And then, the bracelet here, we have it in 2 sizes. And again, it's sold out so fast. We brought it in the silver. So this just launched this week, or maybe last week. I can't even keep up. But we're kind of known for our chunky chains. That is what, we really kind of got us going on social media. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see that it's basically an homage to La Havana Cuban Link, which was also featured in the September issue of British Vogue, which was just beyond a dream.
There it is.
That was. I keep copies down. I keep copies by my bed when I have bad days. I'm just like, girl, you've been in Vogue, okay?
Yes, you can say that's me right there.
That's the model is not me,
but you created that. She wouldn't be there without you.
Yes, and she was very excited to be in Vogue as well. So, we kind of have learned a lot from that first real hit that we had. The first, really understanding that wow, our consumer, both men and women, are really gravitating to these chunky chains. They could be dressed up, dressed down, worn with sweats and everything in between. So, it is, we've really honored and listened to him and her from that, and really super served that niche customer by offering them many different types.
Tiffany and I share a passion for and a belief in live shopping. I think we both have seen firsthand the power of live shopping, and live shopping is what you guys are seeing right here. It's Market.Live. It's the ability to connect with and talk with and interact with the consumer. So that, I mean, that's how you find out that this is what's resonating. Yes, the sales, that gives you some inkling, but this is where you can actually ask them questions. And Tiffany, I mean, you can show the gold and the silver, and what's the response? I am actually curious about that. What is your ratio sales wise, gold to silver?
Oh gosh, it's still very, very predominantly gold skewed.
Right.
We're just now seeing a shift. I did, my merchant background, I'm constantly doing recaps and analysis paralysis of Coachella, fashion weeks and things. And Coachella had a ton of chains exactly like this. So I definitely see silver emerging going into summer, into fall. But right now, it would probably still 20%, 80% gold, 20% silver.
I always do. I do that with any of my new products, and mine's not jewelry, but I usually have a little bling jewelry on, like my beauty case back there has. So every once in a while, I'll bring a case with silver just to live shopping to show and say, what do you guys think? And for my audience, it's not quite resonating yet. She is still loving the gold, but I keep thinking we're inching toward that.
It's coming.
But I was asking, Tiffany's had growth of 300%, you guys, just this year, and was saying how live shopping, she really attributes that to mostly to live shopping. Would you say? Am I saying? I don't know.
Oh, it was definitely the driver of the increase. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and I think that couple of factors, one being the pandemic. I think people really still crave that human connection, to be able to talk to someone. You get the convenience of e-com, but you get the personalization of brick and mortar, and it's just a beautiful marriage of the two. And the conversion rate is so strong because I'm answering in real time. How much does this weigh? Well, it's 8 ounces. It's the real deal. Like, you can hear it. Is it water resistant? Is it going to turn my skin a different color? You start developing a community, and the community starts vouching for you. So they are giving real-time customer reviews. They are saying, oh, I have this necklace. I get so many compliments. With that, it's a machine that's operating without me even pressing the gas. It's truly incredible. It's incredible.
And even just right now, when you put that necklace on and you leaned forward to show us, I mean, you couldn't get that on a static traditional e-com page.
No.
You just can't see that. No. And seeing you do that, that was what made me say, oh my gosh, that's my new favorite. Like, I wasn't thinking that when I just saw the picture, but watching you put it on and all of that, yes, it makes such a difference.
It does.
Okay, so what else do you have for us? This is so fun.
I know. I love it. So we do have some fun little beaded bracelets for the summertime. I actually had to bring these in early because people were buying them sold out. And so that's another thing. I get customer information so much quicker than, traditional shopping, because the consumer is telling me, oh no, I want that now. I want that now. And so I've had to, get off a live stream and email my factory ASAP, because I'm like, oh no, there's a demand happening right now. So it's incredible, the feedback. But one thing that we really tried to do is make our styles as gender and size inclusive as possible. So we do a lot of different either sizes in the bracelet, or make them elastic or adjustable. These are all stainless steel, 18 karat gold plated. They're filled. They're the real deal. So we have them in a few sizes. We have 6 millimeter, 5 millimeter, and then the 4 millimeter has a little kiss of a fresh Baroque water pearl. So you got a couple options for your summertime stack, and it's just completely effortless. I'm all about minimal effort, maximum impact.
Yes.
So like, what can we wear that is easy breezy, but is really a wow factor? So,
and I think my product line on HSN is travel. And I think a lot about taking jewelry when you travel, and all of your pieces, they're so transitional, they're so versatile that you could just take a couple of them and they'll go with everything. One of the reasons I picked that, the Billy Pearl, am I saying it right? Yeah.
Yep.
When I saw that, I just thought, I mean, it just spoke spring and summer to me. And I was thinking, gosh, you could wear that with a bathing suit, just being at the beach, it's very, but then at the same time, I could see that transitioning to nighttime and being out in a dress. So I love it. One thing I wasn't able to tell in the picture, I wasn't sure, how does it wrap a couple times, or is it a single bracelet and you've stacked them?
So I stack them so that, so they're single bracelets, but I'm a more is more kind of girl. So I stack them. So it is, they're sold individually, but they, I think they look fabulous stacked. So
they really do.
They are fantastic. I love adding a watch to it, and it's just easy breezy.
And I was wishing, I don't think we can get these in time for Mother's Day. Am I right about that? If people bought them tonight?
Yeah, especially because I'm 3 hours ahead, so all of the USPS is closed right now. So I would hate to promise something that I can't deliver on, but we certainly can get you something for post Mother's Day. And it's, oh, thank you, Couch Surfer. I'm also reading the comments too. You guys are very kind. But yeah, so unfortunately, no, we can't make it. I would hate for you to disappoint Mama, but not in time for Mother.
But I do have to say, because we talked about this beforehand, or a couple days ago when we talked, but I was saying, even if we can't hit Mother's Day, like we're heading into wedding season, graduation gifts, and these are so giftable. And I think like these are just those items that you can have on hand, because what girl isn't, or boy, like you said, that the fact that they are unisex, many of them, such great gifts, but so fun to wear yourself too, of course. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about, because I know anyone that has a product-based business is knee deep in the social media world and influencers, and trying to find their way in that world. So can you share a little bit about how, because it seems to me that you're doing a really great job in both of those. You and I had spoken about influencers, for example, and I just am curious how well the influencer piece is working for you, and what your advice would be to others who are considering going out there and trying to find an influencer to do the same for them.
Absolutely. I think influencer marketing is not going anywhere. It's a very powerful tool, similar to live stream shopping, that you have a person, someone real, who is vouching for the product, can show you what it looks like on, and can give you the highlights. For us, we have been extremely strategic with our influencer partnerships. We have been very strategic as to who we choose and make sure that they are in line with our brand ethos. So, could we have grown faster, gifting every, Tom, Dick, and Harry out there on social media? Absolutely. But we have been very cognizant that she is someone that looks and speaks like our consumers. So we're very, very mindful of that. I did make a mistake earlier on that I happen to have, through a couple degrees of separation, someone who I knew who was a big influencer, but she was an influencer in the crafting space. She was extremely talented, DIY. So I gifted her a product and I got a ton of followers from it, but they don't want jewelry. They're all crafting audience. So I would definitely recommend, when you are looking at gifting or working with an influencer, make sure that not only they are in line with your brand, but their audience would be in line with your brand. Because ultimately, that didn't convert any sales for me, because they liked it in the moment, but they're not buying. They want to see crafting stuff. So, that would be one thing to look out for. And, influencer marketing has evolved since we started in 2019. And now it's kind of two different buckets I look it into. I look it as user generated content, and then I see it as actual promotion. So user generated content, I work with more of the smaller micro and nano influencers because they're just trying to work up to get their content portfolio built up. They work for, their prices are sharper. They're hungrier. They want more work. So I have a tendency to use those for giveaways because they have a very engaged audience, and for user generated content. And for those of you who may not know what user generated content is, it's basically content that looks like it's created by an influencer, which it is, but it is not shared on their respective platform. It is given directly to the brand, and we pay for the content in exchange. So I don't even require our user generated content to show face or any type of indication of who it is. We just want very vibey shots of the jewelry, like film the cool stuff with the shadows and the lighting, and that's great. The second bucket is actual influencer marketing. So those we tend to use bigger influencers. Those are more expensive. Those have the big audiences, and those are the ones who we're going to ask to drive the promo codes.
Okay. So when you're working with the smaller, the micro and the nano influencers, how do you typically pay them? Is it typically done, in your case, is it done with the jewelry, or are you paying them on top of that?
Oh, there's some that approach us that I do find are, good brand alignment with, Celeste Sol that we work with, and they're just eager to get started. So they'll accept jewelry gifting as payment. There are some that we reach out to, and it is a combination of payment and jewelry. And then there are some that just want payment. But our general rule of thumb for influencer payment is we try to keep a standard. That way it protects us from getting taken advantage of, and we're not taking advantage of the content creator, is about 10% of their following. So if they've got 2,000 followers, we're going to pay them about $200 for the content, whether it be a reel. Reels are more expensive. Any video content's going to be more expensive than static image. But that's just a general ballpark industry rule of thumb that we try to follow. And obviously there's room for negotiation, but that's kind of, it helps guide us.
Well, that's super helpful because I know so many people, it's really such a mystery. Everyone's always, trying to figure it out. Even if you Google it, nothing comes up that says this is what you should pay. So hearing people in the real world talking about how they structure it is always super helpful. And you are getting lots of compliments. Cassie loves the show and the success story, and Carrie loves the jewelry. So pretty.
I love it.
Candy
spoke in Spanish. I love it. Hermosas joyas. I love it.
Okay, what did she say? Because I don't speak Spanish.
Beautiful jewelry. Beautiful jewelry.
Oh, good job, Candy.
Thank you, Carrie.
Do you have the chain link earrings? I love those.
And I love, this is one of my favorite pieces to show during live stream shopping because it's an actual, you can demonstrate it because it could be worn as 3 different ways as noted in the style description. So you get one earring, 3 different versions, price of one, okay? So you can get this little rectangular hoop, post back, stainless steel, 18 karat gold plated, water, wear resistant, the whole shebang. You can wear it like this and go on your merry way, okay? Fantastic, easy breezy.
So classy. Yeah.
I have a almost 5-year-old now, and I have to be careful with the earrings I wear because he's still like pulling and tugging. So I generally go for the smaller stuff, okay? But I am excited for the day I can wear big hoops again. So this earring also comes with a 3-link adapter. So you take the 3-link adapter and you just simply slide it on here. Each link is about 1/2 inch. The middle one is 3/4 of an inch. So you can wear it like so. This drop, I like it for a little bit of a more formal vibe. It's a little dressier. But the third way is my favorite way. You take the top link and the bottom link, you pinch them together like so.
Oh my gosh.
And you've got a chunkier 3-link
I
So,
love
and
it.
I've had customers tell me they've figured out 4 and 5 ways, but in the interest of time, we just do we do 3.
Oh
So
gosh,
you've got a
that's so
chunky
cool.
3 link, you've got a long 4 link, or if you're in mom mode or just something simple, you just leave it on the 1 link, go on your merry way. So it is fantastic.
I love that. That is
Thank
just,
you.
I mean, that's for everyone.
Yes,
Just the fact that there's so much versatility in there, you can wear it. So look how pretty that looks. Love it.
absolutely. I know it's good.
And I
It's
saw
handy.
when you were demoing that, your CZ cross ring.
Yes, yes. So this has a sweet story behind it. So this is actually the original. The Celeste Sol version is not the original. The original my husband gifted me on our wedding day. So
Oh
he
my gosh.
had his brother deliver this ring to my bridal suite. And I wore it on my wedding day. So we recreated it. And we have it available. And again, like the importance of sizing to make sure that you're offering to a wide assortment of customers of different sizes. We have it in sizes 5 through 9, but it's all cubic zirconia encrusted on the front. It's clean in the back, no embellishment. And it's just a beautiful modern take on the classic infinity band. It's
Mhm.
just a very easy style. I always wear mine on my middle finger, and it's a
I
sweet,
love that.
it's a sweet story.
That is a sweet story. And I didn't know that story when I did good picking
You
with
did.
everything I picked.
You
That's a
did.
good
You
start. I'm
did.
so proud of myself. No, that ring is stunning. It's so
Thank
pretty. And
you.
again, another one that can be, dressed down, dressed up. You can wear that with
Absolutely.
everything. I love it. Love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
have to ask, in your collection, do you have a very favorite piece? Is there one that you just, I know they're all your babies,
I
but
know. I was about to say, I think I have to go Havana. She's made me the most money, first
there
and
you go.
foremost. But she was my first big editorial feature. She was my first big bestseller. I mean, this is, and we always intend to carry her as a part of our core assortment, which is another thing that I would recommend doing is always having pieces that your customer can always go back to and know, okay, well, if I need a chunky chain, if I need a basic gold hoop, having your core assortment outside of the seasonal fashion is extremely important. And we consider this a part of our core assortment because this is a basic to our consumer. So it is
Mhm,
just a
mhm.
really, really beautiful classic piece. And Cuban links have been around since the dawn of ages. So it's not going anywhere.
It's just really pretty. I can't wait to see it I can't wait to see
I
all of it in
know.
person. And
I
it's
know.
coming tonight. So I
I know.
will. And I'll post about, put it on and
Yay.
post when I get it. Now, something else that's exciting is that Tiffany is branching into or already has branched into fashion. So you're not just doing jewelry now, you're kind of stepping into talk about that. Talk about where you are with your fashion and how that's going. Because I
It's
think if you're known for one thing and then you jump into another, it's got to be a little, how is it going to be received? So I'm curious about that.
absolutely. With my background, I have touched most women's categories. I really don't know of a women's category I have not touched. At one point at Neiman Marcus, I was even doing luggage and women. My
Mm.
buying parameters were women's luggage, women's contemporary, or no, luggage, women's contemporary, and women's lingerie. So it was a very motley crew of product. But with that said, not any product category scares me because I know how to develop product in it, which has been a huge, huge benefit to me. So whenever we did originally launch apparel, which we do in the fall season, I'm looking to start doing in spring, summer, but that we're kind of known for like our sweatshirts. Um, I was a little hesitant and saying, okay, are we totally going to throw our consumer off? But we made sure to, again, super serve our niche. So when we did do apparel, even though nobody knew I had an apparel background, I wanted to speak to the consumer. So all of our apparel has been either in screens in Spanish, screens in Spanglish. So we're still tailoring to that consumer, and we're not confusing her saying, oh, we're doing apparel now. Oh, but now there's no Spanglish or anything like that. It's still very much in line with who she is. And they've been very successful launches. our most recent one, our Latina sweatshirt, was our best performing one so far. We've launched apparel 3 years in a row for Black Friday. So it's exciting. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm working on some non-apparel but non-jewelry stuff right now for high summer. And we dabbled and tested swimwear last year, which was a doozy. That was a doozy.
I would think it would be. Yeah.
It's a doozy because it did not translate on live streaming, because I had to have models there every time. And swimwear is a very personal, very intimate piece, that especially for women who purchase it. So I don't think it's a category that they were quite ready to adopt on live stream, which I completely, as a consumer, respect and understand.
Yeah. I can imagine that. And you're right. It is such a personal, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't talked much about, or at all about, your charity, because I really love that element of what you do. And you, again, have done such a beautiful job of marrying your culture with fashion. And then now having that piece to it, it just rounds out that, to me, that perfect consumer brand picture. So can you share what the charity is and how that all works?
Absolutely. So we're committed to donating at least 2% of our annual sales to charities that share in our mission to support and empower women of color. Over the course of our 4 years in business, we have really we've kind of narrowed down to a few charities that we work with most, one being in Puerto Rico called Hogar Nueva Mujer. They are a women's shelter, and they do beautiful work. They house, I believe, 50 to 60 women and children. And we were there to support them when Puerto Rico had that massive earthquake a couple years ago. We've been there during hurricanes for them. So really supporting those women is very, very important to me. And so another way that we do that, not through direct money, we also donate to charities that have a need for product. So we work with a local organization here called AWAM, which stands for An Angel Watching Over Me. And they have an after-school girls program that they have a big fundraiser once a year, and it's a fashion show. So we donated all the jewelry for the fashion show, which was incredible to see all these young women walk down the catwalk and raise money for the organization. So however we can help, we are there. It is a deep passion of mine to empower and support women, and predominantly women of color. So I always get like a little teary-eyed talking about it, just because it means so much to me. So really just it's some of my proudest work.
That is so wonderful. I love that you donated the jewelry for the prom. I've done that a couple times where I've gone to for abused children that are no longer with their parents, and helped get them ready for prom, and bring prom dresses and jewelry. And there's just nothing more rewarding than, it's going to make me teary.
I know.
Like how they just glow when they look in the mirror, and it's the best.
It's the happiness. There's no amount of money, that the joy and just the immense amount of gratitude they have, is no money can buy that feeling.
Yes. That's so wonderful. Does anybody have any questions? You guys, this is a masterclass in entrepreneurship for sure tonight. So I don't want you to miss out on any questions you guys might have for Tiffany, because we are getting ready to wrap up, getting ready to do the giveaway. So I hope you guys have been paying attention, because I'm going to ask you a question, and the first person that gets it is going to get the Havana necklace. Oh, let's see. Nancy says she can't wait for the giveaway. There it is. Okay, guys, I think if there are no questions, any questions, I'm going to go ahead and ask a question of my own for the giveaway. So I have a really easy one I was going to do, but I'm going to make it a little tougher on you guys. So where is Tiffany's grandmother from? Where was the inspiration? Where did it all begin? The inspiration for Tiffany's line? Anyone? It's someplace I've been. We were talking about it right before we went live, that I used to live in the Caribbean. I lived on St. Thomas. There she is. And her name is actually Celeste, which is so the namesake of the line. But I lived on St. Thomas for a couple of years. And when we would go on vacation, that is where we would go, to where her grandmother's from. Anybody just know? Okay, is that too hard? Okay. I'm going to move on to one that's a little easier. How old is Tiffany's son? Maybe that's not easier. That's probably harder. Okay, fine. What is Tiffany's best-selling product of all time? Oh, did we get one? Oh, wait, Mary. Mary got it.
Mary, good
Tiffany's
job.
son is 5. Great job, Mary. You are going to be the proud owner of a gorgeous chain link La Havana. Look how pretty that is. You have to post it when you get it and when you're wearing it, and tag Tiffany and tag me. I want to see it.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, congratulations, Mary. So, Mary, what you can do is go to my website, marcymckenna.com, and go to the contact page. Send me your shipping address, and Tiffany will send that out to you. So happy Mother's Day to you if you happen to be a mom. And I, Tiffany, just want to thank you so much for being on and for sharing all your words of wisdom. I am so excited for you. What your success to date is just incredible. And I can only imagine where this is going to go. And it looks like you're having fun doing it and you're giving back. And it's just all the stars are aligned for greatness, and you're already there, but it's going to be exciting to see where you go. And I hope all of you guys follow Tiffany, follow her line. It's really, truly beautiful. Definitely take a look at her storefront after the show, because you're going to love it. It's going to be my go-to as far as gifting. I mean, it's easy peasy. Who wouldn't? Easy. So anyway, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in again. I have so much fun doing this show, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it as much as I enjoy doing it. And our guests are always so amazing. And so, gosh, they teach us so much. So it's just a wonderful gift. So I hope you guys will join me again next week, Thursday night, same time, same place on Market.Live, 4:00 West Coast, 7:00 East Coast. And until then, have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day. And I'll see you next week.